those rocks, and they need to avoid them. And then after 500-600 meters is the Roman bridge. They are allowed to pass in any arc of the Roman bridge, but of course they need to avoid the rocks.
One of the people we missed on the rundown, Stefan, on the list, we must have missed his page. It was David Evans, also from South Africa, who was second in the K2 last year. And that was another crowd-pleasing race, because in that race, not only did you have them come in second, but their teammates broke their rudder and trawled round, being hunted by the pack behind, and that was quite something. 95 there. Seamus Spanner again. This seems to be concentrating on him a bit.
Interesting start also from Norway with Gunnar Eide, another great canoeing family.
Exatamente, numa altura em que faltam 5 minutos para o início da regata, os juízes de partida estão a realizar a chamada para que se comece.
So we've got the first three from the European Championships this year, which was Foley, Rask and Petro. We've got 6th place from the World Championships last year, Uli Hart. 2nd in the K2, David Evans. And Ronan Foley was 5th last year. So this afternoon we run with K1 men juniors, same boats as the women earlier today.
Yes, and very welcome here to Vila Verde in Portugal for the 2018 World Championships. We are watching K1 juniors. It's quite an interesting start list.
It is. Running down the start list, we've got Masek, winner of the K4 500 metre race, obviously not on his own, for the World Championships earlier this year, so he could be a rogue bet in there. On this page, we've got Will Scammell from Great Britain. We've got Thorbjørn Rask from Denmark, 102, and he's one of the more intelligent racers out there. Good marathon racing background. This page, Ronan Foley down the bottom, and David Evans at the top, 110. David Evans 2nd in the K2 last year. Ronan Foley 5th in the K1.
And Ronan Foley, winner of the European Championships previously this year. And also Thorbjørn Rask from Silkeborg, both 102 second at Europeans. So we have all three of the European medalists here with us today.
124. Vince Petro was the 3rd of those medalists.
Yes.
And we'll see him very shortly. 119 there is Majoros from Hungary. He's going to be half decent, you can be sure. Just to get in that Hungarian team is no mean feat.
I think we will see Andrej Masek from Czech, the K1 500 meter champ, together with Ronan Foley, setting the speed out from the pontoon. Ronan Foley, that also is a very good 1,000-meter paddler, and he likes to take the initiative. We have seen that in the World Cup.
I can't remember exact details, but I think he won both the B finals, maybe in the 500 and 1,000 at the Junior World Championships, or was there or around that sort of area. So very strong paddler, much stronger than he was this time last year when he came 5th, and he's confident as well.
Very confident. We saw that in the Europeans and also in the World Cup previously. Good for Ireland.
So 124, Petro 2nd up from the bottom, one to watch. Foley in the white boat or white tip boat with the green middle there, or green boat with white tips, however you want to look at it. Slovakia 116 there is Uvari, Marco Uvari.
It is, as always, an open race amongst the juniors, more open than seniors. But this time, I think we have kept track on several of the athletes for a couple of events now, and we pointed out at least 9 that would have the ability to win this.
Just backing in. Can't get his number. 102, Pinta from Argentina. The Argentinians a bit of a wild card as well. We don't know them. German a bit keen to leave. 1, 2, 3 there. Tobias Hauser. It's all gone wrong at the far end. What happens there is the athletes get a little bit nervous. Maybe they're pointing in the wrong direction slightly and don't want to be stuck on the pontoon like that when the guy says go. So paddling off just ensures that the line can't go, and away they go. There's Foley in the green boat with white tips. 1, 2, 4. Petro also going well, and next to him Hauser. So Foley in the green boat in the middle, top of your screen. Also looking good. I think it's a Norwegian.
It is Gunnar Eide, and on this side here it's also Pablo Rosa from Spain that is setting speed. Can't see him on the screen yet, but he's on the other side.
And I think from Argentina looks like he's matching the quality of some of the recent Argentinians. 118 going across there is McLaren from New Zealand. 125 in shot is Pablo Rosa from Spain.
He made a wonderful start here on the inner side, closest to us, and just went for it.
So Rosa from Spain trying to make his way across to the group, which seems to be led by New Zealand, which I don't think we were expecting.
Yes, and Rosa is doing a race on his own, and now he's tweaking in, trying to catch the front group.
Still 2 guys heading out to the right-hand side. They don't have to go through the 2 left-hand arches on the first lap, only on subsequent laps. And you can see that mass of paddlers making their way to the bridge. I think we might have a swimmer by the motorboat on the left there. Yep. Not sure who he is, but we'll give you that information as soon as we can. It looks like he's wearing really dark colour. Could be the New Zealand guy who was actually leading.
Como referi há instantes, é o atleta Bernardo Santos, atleta do Clube de Canoagem de Amora, e também o seu colega de
So Vince Petro couldn't paddle more like his brothers if he tried.
São ambos atletas do Clube de Canoagem de Amora, estão aqui em defesa.
So the swimmer's back in his boat. There's the only paddler now this side of the bridge. It's a long way back from there.
É o atleta Alisson Henrique da Silva, está também a competir com o caiaque 120. Ele é o atual campeão brasileiro de maratona em K1 Júnior. É vice-campeão de canoagem em velocidade na distância de 1000 metros. É também vice-campeão na regata internacional de Puerto de Charqueada no Uruguai.
So what a beautiful picture that is from the drone. You can't get much more organised than that. So all I can point out there is Foley to the left of the leader, who's now taking up the lead, I think. Pretty sure that's Foley. You'll see the group rearrange. It's a bit of a tussle to the right of Foley, which shouldn't have happened. They'll tuck in behind him now, but whoever that is just clearly not willing to fall back onto the V-wash. Whoever's on Foley's right-hand side seems a little crazy, but maybe just doesn't want to get trapped in the thick of it just yet.
Cool for
Yeah.
As we said, it was a dark tracksuit in the lead, and that's New Zealand. New Zealand, that's really interesting. Jordan McLaren is among the top, and he was leading until Ronan Foley took over here. Do you know anything about Jordan McLaren, Ivan?
Not really, no. I remember last year them telling us he was a good sprinter. So, maybe that's the strong stage of his race. We'll have a bit more work to do, but you can see it's almost like a bit more organised now. And that front group, we'll get the graphics on them as they go around the top turn. A great group formed up the front there.
And it's 35 paddlers in this race. It's already two quite distinctive groups when they approach the first turn. The first lap is without a portage, and when they are past this first turn, we will have the prize giving ceremony for the morning session.
So we will try and get you updated.
Aqui o sinal do GPS, mais uma inovação introduzida neste
with positions as soon as we can.
Dá-nos conta que na frente vai ditando o ritmo da prova.
But for now, a huge front group. Looks like it could be 14, 15 people up there.
It's a little bit interesting that it seems like they're all lining up on the left-hand side of the leader. It's not the normal V, telling us that the speed is quite high. They can't reform in a good way.
So the front group seems to be McLaren, Foley, Rosa, Majoros, Henriquez, who we haven't pointed out yet. Rask is in there. And there you can see they make their way across. So Jordy McLaren in the black shirt at the front of the race.
And Tobias Heuser is there.
So two that we hadn't pointed out to you in our list of 9 originally, which just shows the depth in this race.
Jordan McLaren, Tobias Heuser, Roland Foley, Pablo Rocha. That went so fast in to start with. Majoros are there. Thiago Henriquez from Portugal. Thorbjørn Rask, Domain Pinto. And now we have the result from the first turn. McLaren is in the lead, Roland Foley second, Rocha from Spain third, Majoros fourth, Thorbjørn Rask fifth, Pinta sixth, Petro seventh, Henriquez from Portugal eighth, Santos Portugal ninth, 10th is Evans from South Africa. And that is the top group. And then a slight gap, and 9 seconds behind is Shaw from Great Britain, Heuser from Germany, and Guillaume from France on 13th position. Followed by, also in that group, followed by Masek from Czech, Gunnar Eide from Norway, Cueto from Spain, Hart from South Africa, 18 is Oivari, and then it's a slight gap again, down to Australia's Spanner on 19th position, Neidi from Italy, 20th, Azul from Argentina, 21st, and Scammell from Great Britain's 22nd. They are half a minute behind now. And then Hippelainen from Finland, Losberg, Germany, McCartney from Ireland, Da Silva from Brazil, and then we are down to 27, Ost from Belgium, and so on.
So in shot, we move on to presentation. of the under-23 women from this morning.
This also has, I will bring a faster pitch tomorrow.
Senhoras e senhores, apresentamos as medalhadas do K1 feminino no escalão sub-23.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal presentation for the women's under-23 K1.
As medalhas serão entregues por Vítor Félix, presidente da Federação Portuguesa de Canoagem, acompanhado pelo team leader e vice-presidente da Federação Húngara, András Faludi.
And the bronze medal from Great Britain.
A medalhada de bronze do Reino Unido,
Samantha East Clark.
a medalhada de prata,
The silver medal for Hungary.
Lili Katona. A medalhada de ouro e campeã do mundo em K1 feminino no escalão sub-23,
And the gold medal winner and world champion from Hungary,
Sofia Zelagoros. Por favor. Agora sim, levantem-se para escutar o hino nacional da Hungria.
ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand for the national anthem of Hungary?
Touching, tears in her eyes, listening to her, to the national anthem.
A atleta húngara que recebeu a prata está hoje de parabéns. Forte aplauso para Lili Katona.
Congratulations, ladies, and a special congratulations to Lily, who's got a silver medal on her birthday.
And now follows prize giving ceremony for C1 men juniors, while the K1 men are approaching here now. They are coming now.
As that presentation finishes, the men's K1 comes past. We'll get name checks for you as they go through.
The top turn for the first time, it's the leading pack of about 12 in the men's.
And it's
junior men's K1.
119. It's Majoros in the lead. It's Roland Foley there, and it's Pablo Rocha. That's the top three, and we have Portugal there as well. Thiago Henriquez and Thorbjørn Rask are riding the Diamond Wash very nicely there. Also Argentina. Argentina by Damian Pinta.
So 125 on the outside, Rosa. Foley on the inside from Argentina, 103, Pinta. Rask is in there. Shaw from Great Britain is in there at the back. McLaren from New Zealand, just off the back of that group. There's a small gap opening up.
Vince Petro and Thorbjørn Rask, Thiago Henriquez. All of them.
So the group of 9 at the front there, going close into the shallows. You can see them heading towards that island. A little bit of panic among the group. They move around in the shallows. 3 guys currently, but it's a Spaniard pushing for the lead.
The gap to the second group, 50 meters. I think that's quite accurate as what we can see here. But very good and a large top group.
It's great fun to watch a large top group moving around, swapping positions. Foley just pressing on, trying to get to the lead, but no, just holding off an attack from his outside from 122, which is Enriquez from Portugal.
Both the Portuguese paddlers are there. Good for Portugal. Bernardo Santos is the second.
So in that group, we've got Rosa, Enriquez, we've got Rask, we've got Foley,
Pinta,
Santos,
Petro. $122 there is Thiago Henriquez from Portugal.
Coming around the outside there. New Zealand still in the mix with McLaren.
Continua a ser o espanhol Pablo Rosa a ditar o ritmo desta prova.
Wonderful picks when they're shifting around.
Foley going round Rosa to get to the new leader. The Hungarian. Petro in the red boat to the left of the leader, coming around the outside now. Argentina.
107 there is Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, who was 20 seconds behind at the upper turn, has managed to get to the top group now.
Looking to be in quite a comfortable position. He'd actually do better, in reality, to drop the other side of the red and white boat he's on, so he's in line with the leader. The waves match up much better that way. So if Luke Shaw moved across, one V-wash to his left, life would get a little bit easier for him. So Foley, comfortable. Petro, comfortable. Looks like Majoros leading at the moment. Tucked in the back is Rosa. McLaren, second from the top of your picture. Top of your picture, making a move to come around onto the lead wash.
And now
being held off by Petro, and we're back to a presentation.
medal presentation for men's C1 juniors.
senhoras e senhores, apresentamos os medalhados do C1 Júnior masculino.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal presentation for Junior Men's C1.
As medalhas serão entregues pelo vereador do desporto da Câmara Municipal de Vila Verde, Patrício Araújo, juntamente com o team leader da Hungria, Csaba Makrai, também treinador de C1.
And the bronze medal for Poland.
O medalhado de bronze em representação da Polónia, Adrian Klosz. O medalhado de prata chega-nos de França.
And the silver medal for France.
Leo Dunilac. O medalhado de ouro e campeão do mundo em C1 Júnior masculino.
And the gold medal and world champion from Hungary,
David Oldovan. Por favor, levantem-se. Depois das flores, é a vez de escutarmos o hino nacional da Hungria.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand for the national anthem of Hungary?
O vosso aplauso então para os medalhados do Campeonato do Mundo 2018.
Congratulations, gentlemen. This has those all-important photographs now, please.
So, and back to the race, and they have just passed the 5.4 kilometer mark, and in the lead is Ronan Foley from Ireland, followed by Majoros, Thorbjørn Rask, Pinta from Argentina, Rosa from Spain, Shaw from Great Britain, Santos from Portugal. 8th position is Petro from Hungary, Henriquez from Portugal is on 9th position, McLaren from New Zealand on 10th, and that is the top group. 16 seconds behind is Gunnar Eide from Norway, together with Heuser from Germany and Mašek from Czech Republic. That's the top 13.
You can see from the drone shot there the main front group of 10 hugging close to the bank there of the river. But the chase pack matching them for speed, it seems, down the middle of the river, just going wide, maybe riding the washes. Front group changes position again, big attack on the right hand side of the leader, held off by the guy who was on the side wash, and he's now returning to the side wash of the same leader, whoever it may be, and the group formation comes good again. They'll move out around the shallows at that point. It's really shallow just at that little pontoon there. They're just hitting that shallows now, and that will change the shape of all the waves back through the group. A little uncomfortable for a few seconds, and then they'll regroup in the deep water. It's a lot of people in there still, and they're coming into the first portage, and that will be a big leveler, I'm sure, for all of them.
Very well together. It's only 15 seconds between the groups. I think they will mix up in the portage. They usually do that when the groups are that big. A slight little mistake from anyone, and the groups are mixing up.
On the outside of the group there, we've got Rosa just in front of him, Rask in front of him, Foley leading at the moment. Actually, sorry, I can't tell you who that is.
I think it is McLaren.
But there's a group, I think, of about 6 there, maybe 8, coming through the trees. About
So
1,000 meters to
it's going to be very tense coming in to the portage. They've got a little way to go still. Keeping them very tight to the edge. Uncomfortably tight. Petro on the inside had to move back into the half V. But Luke Shaw on the front V there. Superb effort from him. Spaniard tucking in behind the group again. Looks like he's struggling a little bit, Rosa. A great race for Luke Shaw there. Tucked in the lead V behind Roland Foley. Thorbjørn Rask with a red tip on his boat. And our screen's just on the blink again, so we'll give you information as we get it.
Pinta, Argentina in the lead now, I think. Ronan Foley, Vince Petro, Luke Shaw, Thorbjørn Rask, they are all there. Santos.
So Argentinians looking strong.
Damian Pinta.
On his left, Petro. To his right, Foley. Tucked in the back, Shaw. Red tip on his boat, Thorbjørn Rask. Just behind him,
Portugal.
Portuguese is Santos. 119 going up the inside is Majoros. Bit of camera freeze, and you can see Petro closest to the bank, starting to change the shape of the group. Foley sees the danger and comes across to Petro. Everyone else falls in behind. Rask safe on the right-hand side of Foley. Shaw just being nudged off his V-wash, but another one's going to form for him as whoever's on the outside. Shaw opts to come inside, go up the inside of the river.
The race is really on now. It's full speed ahead to the first portage.
Majoros suffering a little bit out the back, as is Rosa still from Spain. Off the back of the group, the Portuguese.
Tiago.
Tiago Enriquez with the big hair. So it's Foley from Rask, from Petro. Tucked in the back is the Argentinian. Up the inside is Shaw. Behind him is Rosa. Enriquez struggling at the back of the group there.
All of them trying to get the best position for the portage, but it's also important not to use too much energy before the portage.
Bernardo Santos right on the outside of the group. Enriquez, not too bad a position really. He'll get the pickings of the spaces, and there's bound to be someone in front of him who messes this up. So he won't come out of it too badly. He might even be able to get back in contact with the group. At the moment, life's hard for Tiago Enriquez as he sees the group paddle away just slightly. First in to the first portage is Foley. Petro on his inside. Foley just lost the boat a little bit there. Rask probably the best out of that portage. Foley coming in through the drink lane. Petro following Rask. Argentina also into the drinks lane.
Rask is really running fast. His long legs are carrying him rapidly over the portage and jump into the boat, and no mistakes there.
So
and off it's Thorbjørn Rask.
In and out from the portage, and he's going hard. It's Foley who's got the easiest ride. He's only just a couple of lengths behind him, but Rask is making it hurt. There's going to be a split in this front group from here. So Petro chases along with Foley. Rask has 3, 4, 5 lengths even.
And he keep on going. This is a great achievement from Thorbjørn Rask.
Bernardo Santos in the green boat behind him. From Argentina, we're looking at Nestor Pinta. And that is going to be the front group. Rask is making them do some work now.
So we'll see how that pans out.
And there's a gap of some 6, 7, 8 lengths even. As Rask turns the screws a little bit. Actually turns the screws quite a lot, to be fair. That gap isn't getting smaller.
He's very strong-minded and really eager to use everything he has on every race. Experienced.
Very early days in this one.
Very.
Petro doing the chase with Foley with him, and the Portuguese there is no, not Enriquez. Sorry, it's Santos.
Thorbjørn Rask from Silkeborg, the greatest club in Denmark currently. They managed about 50 athletes on the Danish championships. Quite amazing.
But Petro now has picked up the speed of the chase. It's a great little ride for Foley. You would imagine the Portuguese would want to drop round onto the half V. But he's making life hard for himself. And that gap is gradually beginning to close thanks to Vince, Petro. Foley very wise, just letting Petro do the donkey work. And to his outside, Santos is crazy to be sat second wash out. He could just drop behind, life would get good for him. But maybe he's going as fast as he can and is frightened to do it because Petro is travelling now. Petro closing the gap.
I think he is the only one that can manage to close that gap. Petro is known to endure high speed over long distances, as well as Thorbjørn Rask. What is the thinking of Thorbjørn Rask now, you think?
I don't know. I don't think he can honestly believe he's going to do the whole thing by himself. I think he just wants to. The faster he strings it along for the longer period at the moment, the race will disintegrate behind him and the groups will get smaller. So he'll end up with a group of 4 if he's lucky, and it looks like that's what's going to happen. And it's a group of 4 fairly motivated people there. That's the first 3 from the European Championships. They're in the first 3 positions now.
And the gap to the second group is increasing.
The Portuguese guy has come around, Santos now onto the half V. better late than never. And the gap closes slowly. And fair play to Thorbjørn Rask. He's done some damage here.
Really good.
Just about to hit the deep water after that pontoon on the left there. The river gets deep, and you see that second group will now close down a little bit easier. Running over the portage.
40 metres in front. And then there's probably about
from Singapore,
80 metres to
see
the next group of
Quick.
4.
Agora nas imagens,
Oh, he's up the wrong way.
Quick,
From Finland
ali com algumas
and
dificuldades
South Africa.
em regressar ao cabo.
Very surprised to see South Africa back that way. That might mean that he was the swimmer before
Yeah,
the bridge.
could have been. Yeah.
Could well have been. Yeah, 94 Uli Hart. He was 6th last year. So I'm going to put out a punt that he was the swimmer on that first leg up before the bridge.
Interesting to watch the speed of the top group now. Thorbjørn Rask has almost the same speed as the others. They don't gain much. The gap is still about 50 meters.
And there he is, out there on his own, the chase pack. 2 very strong paddlers, plus Bernardo Santos, who's clinging on to the V there. And Thorbjørn Rask seems very, very confident. Surprised we haven't got messages from his club mates coming through already online.
Competiram em K2 misto e venceram os Masters.
He's been talked about for quite a long time. He's had a bit of bad luck with illness and injury on race days in the past, but for the moment at least it's looking good for him.
Este atleta, apesar de ser filho de canoístas, tem feito seu percurso.
They are not getting any closer for the
Not
moment.
sharing the lead enough, Stefan, to be closing that gap. If the motivation was there, but then maybe they've had a chat as well, and they'll string him out there for a bit until they'll reel him in later on. Maybe they're playing him. It's a difficult game out there. It's always hard to know who's in control of
Ronan
speed
Foley
they're traveling.
is that kind of paddler that wants to ride a wash, and
Yep.
he's rapid enough, had enough speed to do it in a good way, but going for himself over the long distance is not his cup
Maybe
of
not
tea.
his forte.
The local paddler of,
Yeah, maybe because he hasn't shown that tool in the past. Maybe it doesn't mean he doesn't have it. He must do a fair bit of training to be as good as he is, and training is amounts to fitness either way.
And as it looks now on the tech system we have here, Thorbjørn Rask has a higher speed than the second group, just slightly, but good enough to keep them off.
Yeah, that says something. That means the arguments have started in that second group.
Yes.
And the motivation is not necessarily to pull and catch up. That gap's bigger. And
Definitely.
Thorbjørn Rask may have
He's very
created his
encouraged.
own race plan for himself at that first portage. There comes a point of no turning back, and he's pulled his lead. It's a good lead, and it looks like it's sticking for now. It's a huge lead on these guys. It's a whole 1,800 meters.
Eles já realizaram uma das 5 previstas.
So for now, at least, it's quiet at the portage area.
It's 20 seconds now. Thorbjørn Rask has a lead of 20 seconds to Petro and Santos and Foley. And after them follows Rocha and Henriquez and Pinta and Majoros, and they are another 15 behind, saying they are 37, 38 seconds behind the flying Thorbjørn Rask. So the top 10 is Rask, and 20 seconds behind Petro Santos and Foley, and another 15 seconds behind that group is Rocha, Enriquez, Pinta, Majoros, and another 20 seconds or so is, or 12 seconds actually, is Shaw. That is the top 10 currently, top 9 to be precise.
So the second group of 3 is in more danger of being caught by the group of 4 behind it than they are in hope of catching Thorbjørn Rask, who is just inching away all the time now. So Rask has pretty much not left himself any options now. He's going to have to go it alone. He's got 100 meters, and that gap is growing all the time.
And watching the speed, he has a little bit, just slightly higher speed than the second group over the distance. So he's increasing the gap, not much, but they travel on the speed of between 13.8 and 14.2 kilometers an hour. And Thorbjørn is staying above 14, while the others are slightly below.
If that sounds impressive to you, 14 kilometers an hour, you've got to add that they're going into the current at that speed as well. So the speeds are high. You can see the relative positions of the groups there. Thorbjørn Rask out in front, just about to go round the pontoon in the shallows there. You can see the slightly lighter water of the shallows. The group behind not making any impact, and they're going to be caught fairly soon by the group of 4, I'd say.
And now most of them have passed this upper turn. On 10th position is Gunnar Eide from Norway, 1 minute 43 seconds behind, and he is definitely in the third or fourth group. After him is Heuser from Germany. McLaren, that did so well during the first lap, is 12th, 2 minutes 15 behind. Followed by Ujvari from Slovakia on 13th position. Then follows Spanner from Australia, Cueto from Spain, Azul from Argentina, Schmel from Great Britain, McCartney from Ireland, Guillaume from France, Da Silva from Brazil, and on 22nd, Evans from Republic of South Africa. Germany, 23rd Lausberg, 24th Neri, and 25th is Ost from Belgium.
So there's Rask out in front, and sure enough, the Danish are chirping in on the live chat at the side, saying that he's the strongest. I love the way people say that the person they know is the strongest when they actually don't know the other people. But they obviously know him from training. They know he can do a good, strong pull.
They're talking by their hearts, of course.
Yep.
And that's the way it should be. This is sport.
Before they come down through the bridge.
It's still a long way to go. Rask is on his own. He's very tidy through the portages, so unlikely to make a mistake on the portages, especially out there on his own. That chase group.
You can see the speed there, 13.30. It means it is about 1 kilometer an hour difference, depending on the direction of the course. Now they are facing the flow.
A little look over his shoulder there, and he will see that group of 3, which is Foley and Petro and the Portuguese.
And he is still keeping the speed higher than the second group. It's 120 meters now, according to the system at least.
So the gap is increased to about 130
So as Thorbjørn approaches the bridge, here's the second group. They're working well.
Para já, tudo corre de feição para os portugueses. O Bernardo está muito bem posicionado. Há que assegurar que continua ali na frente.
Lead changes. Foley will drop. either around the back or come and cut out the Portuguese and get on the side wash. Portuguese happy to go back. Getting out of the way comfortably and quickly to put himself on the half V, and has come up the inside. So that's a group that's well organised.
Leading group behind.
And they are on the third lap out of 6. So it's still a very long way to go. And Thorbjørn Rask, we haven't seen this, I think. Renate Shea have done the same, going away on the first portage sometimes, but this is very unusual.
I'm thinking back in Hungary in Georgi Jakob did the whole junior race.
Yeah,
on his
that's
own.
right. Yeah,
And so it can be done, but it's a hard way to race. And he's got to race K2 again later in the week as well. And I don't know.
Now he's focusing just K1, I think.
His partner might not be thinking the same way he's thinking right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's nice, tidy paddling.
I spoke to them before the race, him and the other guys in the Danish team, and they expected a lot from this. They have done so well, also among the seniors back home in Denmark. So they were really hoping for this.
Well, let's hope it pans out for them then. Quite tidy out of his boat. That will obviously get more ragged as he gets tireder. He's coming in for a drink through the drinks lane. Casting scales.
He looks quget fresh. I'm leading out and watch his eyes.
Good.
Yeah,
he looks pretty good.
He looks good.
He'll get a good view of his lead when he goes around the turn. See where he is into his boat very nicely. Been watching their K2 practice their portages the last couple of days, and they have to be probably the best I've seen of all the portage practices. So is practices even a word? So there goes Rask, and here comes the group behind him. Foley at the back of that group, Santos in the light green boat, Petro in the dark coloured boat, and they are going
30 seconds now, 30 seconds lead.
not as quick
Thorbjørn
into their
Rask.
boats. Santos certainly not very tidy into his boat. Petro leads, it's 30-second gap. So he's probably opened up 20 seconds on that lap from the 10-second
absolutely.
first portage.
Absolutely. Very relaxed paddling from Thorbjørn on the other side of the river here. Stopping, adjusting his drinking gear.
These three, I think, probably sensed the danger behind them of the following pack of 4 earlier on and have smartened up their
39
game.
now.
So 39 seconds.
The time measurement point
Shaw
is in
running
the
through
end
the
of the turn, meaning that
Looking pretty tough for him at the moment. He's on his own, I think, with a group of 4 just in front of him.
the second group is splitting up now.
It's Santos dropping off that second group, and coming up to join Santos is the Spaniard who was strong early days, which is
Pablo Rosa. Petro is trying to keep the speed high. Foley on his watch.
It's very hard now for Foley and Petro. They've got medals as it stands, and how much of that do they risk by trying to get a gold one when Rask is out there some 40 seconds ahead?
Yeah. Something must happen to Thorbjørn now. He looked pretty relaxed and not exhausted at all, and his eyes was burning
Right.
when he passed the portage here, just 2 or 3 meters in front of me.
So there's the gap, back to Petro and Foley.
Norway over the portage, followed by the Czech Republic, Germany,
These guys are working hard as well.
New Zealand, Slovakia, Spain.
Under the bridge.
The average speed of Petro is almost the same as Thorbjørn Rask for the moment, a little bit higher actually, but it keep on shifting. It's once again just above 14 kilometers an hour on this leg. Thorbjørn is doing 14.5 and the other 14.8. There it comes, 14.2 for the moment. Keep on shifting, and what we see here is the average.
A lot of the shift on that at this stage of the course, Stefan, will be the depth of the water.
Absolutely so, but also this is GPS based, so you can't really trust the decimals.
Entirely. So Rask pressing on alone. Looking very strong.
Também aqui a passar na portagem o brasileiro Alisson Henrique da Silva, aqui com equipamento azul, embarcação 120. É o campeão brasileiro de maratona neste escalão.
The Santos falling off the back
também a dar
of
cartas
that
na
chase group.
canoagem mundial. Ainda há cerca de 2 semanas o baiano Isaquias Queiroz arrecadou mais medalhas.
About 125 meters,
no ano passado,
that lead,
conquistou 3 medalhas nos
just
Jogos
40 seconds.
do Rio de Janeiro.
Santos struggling there on his own.
And they are halfway through the race now. About 11 kilometers.
The second group at the moment. I guess it's the two behind. They've got to decide whether they're going to try to catch him, put all the effort into catching him, or whether they're just going to accept that that's not going to happen because they'll be too tired if when they do. And
The tough decisions to make. We're on lap 4 of 6.
Second and third.
I'm going to say that Rask is going to win this, Stefan.
Yeah, if nothing happens to him.
Yeah.
I think he's experienced enough not to go too hard, and he has a very, very strong mind. Remember Ramalho doing the same at the Europeans, almost the same. After a couple of laps he just went and then totally exhausted.
That's what I was going to say. I also remember him laying on the floor of the cabin vomiting.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a price to pay for races like this.
It is. But strong-minded athletes, well-trained, can really suffer a lot for their gold medals. Can sustain pressure, physically and mentally.
E pelas imagens aéreas vemos que o Bernardo Santos está ali a liderar.
So that gap looks too big to close.
Quarto grupo.
Both Petro and Foley are working reasonably hard. They haven't got spare capacity to close that whole gap.
It doesn't increase anymore. It's still about between 120 and 140 meters.
With these races being shorter than they used to be as well, this is much more of an option. If it was over 2 hours, you would be a very brave man to take that on.
Yeah, the big difference in the body is over 2 hours. Up to 2 hours most paddlers can do, but then exhaustion sets in and the metabolism of the body must be trained for it to really sustain hard pressure over 2 hours.
The graphic at the bottom of the page shows the gaps closed slightly, but I think that's I think we were a little random on that distance.
It is.
On his shoulder, that is. Most of the others.
So Rask from Foley, from Petro, Santos on his own, and he's being chased down by a group of 3 somewhere out there.
Petro has definitely not given up. The speed is the same. In between them. Now Thorbjørn Rask has passed the turning boy up there.
O líder já leva 50, já correram 53 minutos desde o início desta prova.
So it looks like we've got a couple of retirements out there, Uli Hart and maybe Cueto from Spain. I was just overhearing a communication from outside our commentary box.
And it's 32 seconds now. Thorbjørn Rask, 32 seconds in the lead to Petro and Roland Foley. 32 seconds is not that much, but
it's still at a stage where it can change.
it is.
If Rask tires a little bit and the other two get a sniff of that,
Yeah.
it's a bit of a mental game now. They're around that top turn already.
And then another 30 seconds to Pinta from Argentina and Rosa from Spain and Majoros.
Santos has been swallowed up by that group. We've got Pinta, Rosa and Majoros in that next group.
It's still a little bit open, I think, also for these guys.
O José Ramalho e o autor do livro que foi apresentado há pouco na tenda da
30 seconds is a little bit more than 100 meters, 130 as we can see, and that is, if anything happens, it's quite fast to close.
5 minutes gone. You see that they're on lap 4 of 6.
Estamos na quarta de 6 voltas previstas.
It's quite impressive how far Thorbjørn Rask is ahead of the whole race here. Some of them, he's going to be close to lapping people by the end, I think, of this. That second group is very secure now. Second group of 2, they're secure ahead of the group of 4 behind them. So we just got Foley and Petro together.
Na terceira posição permanece o irlandês Ronan Foley. O nosso Bernardo Santos nesta altura.
Santos, who was with them, has fallen back.
Very close to the bank.
Representante nacional, o Tiago Henriques está na posição 8 nesta prova.
So about 10k to go to the finish.
O ritmo já
So just over halfway.
como é natural.
10 very, very painful kilometers for Thorbjørn Rask.
No início, Urina marcou
When you are in front the way he is, you really don't know how close they are behind, and you don't know their speed. You're just keeping on going as fast as you can. A little bit nervous all the time. How
It's
how
stressful.
developed. It's stressful,
Very
really
stressful,
stressful.
and you have to measure out what you've got left. And if you overcook it, the price is very high.
Yeah, and he need support. He need back times from his team leaders. That is difficult on this course.
There's not a lot of room for communication here, just the portage. But that's a sizable gap. It's a comfortable gap.
So, a shot from the drone there showing that
It doesn't increase anymore. It's the same gap,
still holding
about 120 meters.
130 meters from the next group of 2 at the moment. It does look as though
The problem is if it gets to a stage where it's shrinking and they see that and he sees that on the turn, then panic kicks in as well.
Yeah.
And then your brain starts making different decisions. It starts 1 minute it decides to wait, and the next minute it's deciding to go again, and then it wants to rest, and then you want to go hard. But Petro still doing the damage in the second group. I don't think we've had a shot yet where Foley's been leading.
Recordo que estão em prova 35.
As expected, We know Petra is a very endurant paddler as well.
Just coming past the bottom of the island.
If anyone could close the gap, it's him.
Drone shot there, looking down.
Nice shot there from the drone.
He's doing well. He's
Thorbjørn Rask.
also reading the water in a good way, Thorbjørn Rask. He's not a river paddler from the start. He's Silke Boys lakes, and yeah, it's small rivers also there, but not real river racing. While Hungary is mostly river racing, so that also pays off. But he has learned. He's reading it right, taking the right decisions.
At this stage, he looks like he's moving faster than these two.
So Thorbjørn has just gone through the bridge. The shot from the bridge of the next two, Rowan and Vince.
Exatamente, vemos então que o irlandês
So Foley and Petro
ao segundo classificado,
just going under the bridge now
Vince
as
Petro,
Rask heads towards the portage
e está
for
tudo
the third
em
time.
aberto, pelo menos no que à segunda e terceira posição.
So 3 more
dizem
portages
respeito,
and 1 short lap.
já que o dinamarquês continua determinado e bastante distante da concorrência, embora o gap tenha sido já diminuído em cerca de 10 metros.
So Santos has managed to stay with that group that swallowed him up after he was dropped from the chase pack of what was 3, now 2.
That is the second group. It's Majoro, Santos and Rocha.
And Pinter also in there from Argentina.
Ireland and Hungary.
So Rask approaches his third portage. Third of 5. And you get some idea there of the gap he's got. It's not necessarily over yet.
So
Rask runs across in front of us.
And he's watching the big screen to see if he can caught a glimpse of his fellow competitors.
So he's going to be getting in his boat at exactly the same time as the others are getting out of theirs.
Goes back into the water and is carefully and comfortably away. The next group arrives.
Wonderful technique in the portage.
One of the best, I think.
Yeah.
About 150 meters, maybe a little bit less.
Exatamente, aqui o dinamarquês terminou há instantes a sua terceira
Petro and Ronan Foley taking some drinks.
contornar as boias amarelas.
It's 30 seconds now.
Petro also looking quite controlled though.
Absolutely. 35, 36, 38 seconds. Thorbjørn is watching them now. Got a good view of where they are and how fast they are
Both
moving.
Vince and Rowan carefully into their boat there, no problems. So we can see
Foley really just happy to sit with Petro. His contribution has been little to none in terms of catching up. Rask and the group of 4, as they go around the turn, the next group of 4 runs past us. Pinter, Santos, Majoros and Rosa. Now finally, opposite us, Foley takes the lead. Santos could just about be losing the group that caught him. They've now come through him, and there's a man who really has no answer to anything at the moment. His group's gone.
representante luso que está agora nas imagens, Tiago Henrique,
And he's going to be caught by his compatriot Tiago Henriquez
triatleta canoísta.
imminently. There's Henriquez.
Os dois representantes lusos são do Clube Canoagem de Amora.
Luke Shaw, Great Britain over the portage.
So Majoros and Rosa are together, and Pinta from Argentina has made a break from them and is now on his own in fourth position. So Foley pressing on.
Luke Shaw.
There's an assumed responsibility here. Ah, come on. Putting his drink in, which says to me that he's not happy travelling at that speed. It's too expensive for him, and he's not going to close that gap. That's going to be that job is left to Petro. Foley has just told Petro that he hasn't got it in him to close the gap by himself. And to me, Rask looks like he's travelling the best of the three.
We can see that Mr. Rask has increased his rate there. He was over 14 kilometres per hour, which is probably the fastest we've seen after the start.
Exatamente, o dinamarquês continua empenhadíssimo.
So Rask moves on.
Elevado
2 more portages,
ritmo
1
nesta
short lap,
maratona.
and he looks to have everything under control right now.
Agora está a aplicar cerca de 14 km/h. A performance deste
What started out as a race with a huge front group Luke Shaw there on his own. He's been on his own for quite a while.
As imagens agora no ecrã. E mais belo postal de boas-vindas a todos os que recorrem aqui a Portugal para assistir a este Mundial de Maratona em Canoagem.
Agora,
nas imagens, o norueguês Gunnar Eide
from Norway. That's testament to how fast the pace has been in this race, that they're all strung out now.
Isto numa altura em que pela portagem passa o francês Bastien Guillot. Agora o brasileiro Alisson Henrique da Silva.
120 all the way from Brazil there, Da Silva.
120.
Just clinging on to the back of a group. Contains Belgium, I think Norway, Brazil.
E de facto está avassalador aqui. O nosso dinamarquês já leva 160 metros de vantagem face ao seu mais direto adversário.
So 160 meters or 140 meters, depending which bit you want to believe, but it's still bigger than it was on the last lap either way. So Rask for now sitting pretty out the front, and time is running out for these two boys behind him. I don't think Foley's got it in him to do a chase that long. Petro has been chasing for so long that the odds are evened up between him and Rask. They've both done a lot of work so far. So slowly but surely, the weight of probability falls to Thorbjørn Rask.
Tiago Henriques estão nesta altura nas 7ª e 8ª posição, respectivamente.
It's quite hard to see where everyone is
passa o
from
finlandês
the pictures there.
Ako Ipalainen. E aqui o público a apoiar e trouxe consigo e muito bem aqui a bandeira portuguesa. Está tudo instalado e muito bem para assistir a esta prova do Mundial.
Not sure who that was. I don't think that was our leader.
So Thorbjørn is around that bottom turn. 1 minute 10 seconds.
The gap has increased slightly.
Into the race now. About a 1:30, 1:40 race overall.
I think it's about 50 seconds now.
Os atletas já levam 1h10 de prova.
It's 42 actually. 42 seconds lead for Thorbjørn Rask. Increased the gap with about 8 seconds, 8-10 seconds since this.
You get the feeling that the chase is over, Stefan. Vince
Yes.
Petro's been chasing for so long and he's getting little to no help from Ronan Foley. So the rate of fatigue between Petro and Rask is going to even out.
Yeah.
If they were sharing the lead, there'd still be some hope for that chase pair, but there's not enough coming from Foley to do the job here, I don't think.
Them being able to make up that difference. They've only got 1.5 laps to go.
16.2 kilometers done out of 22.6. It looks more and more promising for Thorbjørn Rask. His tactics was to try a move on the second portage, not on the first. So he was following his tactics, and he just wanted to test them at the first portage, but then it paid off, and he didn't have any reason actually to
We had no reason to go back.
No, to go back. So
yeah, I'm with you. I don't think that break at the first portage was with full intent of going alone from there. I think it was just a tester.
Yeah, I talked to one of the Danish team leaders here.
Okay.
And he said his tactics was to go at the second portage, not the first.
I've get messages from his sister Catherine, who's one of my favourite racers as well. She races really well. She's a bit nervous for him that he's out that far ahead and with this far to go. So she's sitting at home getting nervous for him. But increasingly, it looks like he is going to be the man of the moment today.
She's injured, unfortunately.
She's had a bad run of luck with injury over the last few years. She, like Thorbjørn, is one of the more intelligent racers out there, and it's great that Denmark is still producing athletes like that.
And Silkeborg especially. They have an amazing structure in that club, producing so many good athletes, and also good support from the local community and from the Danish Canoe Federation. And that pays off, and of course, the most important of all, engaged people, trainers and team leaders and parents and everything.
Absolutely, and once you get a culture of success in a club, it lasts for a long time, I think.
But it comes and goes, and a 10-year period of great success.
Yeah, then it ebbs a bit.
Yeah,
we've had that at our own club. There's the distance again, 145 meters. Or maybe 126. Who knows? Who knows? It could be anything. But somewhere between 120 and 140 meters, and it's still Petro on his own, really doing the chase.
He's not slowing down. Still go for it.
e os dois atletas que
think the
ocupam
camera
nesta
angle
altura a segunda e terceira
provides a
posição,
little bit false
oriundos
image.
da Hungria
Looks like
e
they
da
are closer than
Irlanda.
they are. The rear view mirror.
That's right.
From the road group.
Absolutely. And Rask is
Thorbjørn
about to
past
lap
the bottom end of the island.
one of the tail enders here. And that adds a new level of entertainment for him,
Yeah.
which will keep him sparked up for another few hundred meters at least while he closes that gap. A new boost of excitement, something to do, something else for your mind to worry about.
How to get around these washes in the most comfortable way. Still going very strong.
So the leader, bottom left of your shot, the chase group in the main screen. And above them, the chase group of three behind. Foley just coming wide. Must be a shallow section that he's chosen to go around. Well, he's... I don't know, where are they going?
Yeah, strange.
So this is Rask just overtaking the tail ender.
Na ponte de Prado, a espelhar a
Keep him
diversidade
very
das
close to the
nações.
edge,
35
choosing to
países
overtake on his
estão
inside rather than his
representados
outside, which means it's
neste
very important
campeonato
for him
do
to be
mundo
close to
de
the edge.
maratona.
You can see there.
Camera shot from the end of the portage
And
shows
Foley
that,
is actually, that's a serious amount of effort going in there.
lead
So perhaps
opponent, we've
Foley
just gone on the
is
inside
going to do his
to
share.
lap, somebody. So,
Such a long gap to
Thorbjørn
close
Rask is,
though.
now coming down close.
Maybe they see an opportunity now,
Portage.
for one reason or another.
A assistência vai se distribuindo ao longo
Or maybe
das
they've worked out
margens
that
e
that
também
chase group
pelas
isn't going to catch
pontes.
them, so they might as well have a
Yeah.
go rather than rest. So what happens to the lapped athlete now, Stefan? What happens to the guy who's been lapped now?
Nothing so far, but when Thorbjørn Rask passes the finishing line, the lapped guy must stop
get off the water at the next portage that he
the
does.
next portage.
So Foley leading from Petro in the background. But Rask's got the same rhythm, the same lightweight sort of stroke that he's had all the way through. And as the distance to the finish gets less, his confidence must go up and up. 2 portages to go now.
So Thorbjørn just coming into the portage, beginning of the last full lap. Very carefully.
Still well organised and well coordinated.
Very tidy.
Good support from the back.
Stefan just leaning out of the commentary box to get some clues from his face as he runs past us.
He looks comfortable. He's watching the screen when he's running over, not looking too exhausted. Still the desire in his eyes, the desire for gold.
I think he probably knows
A couple of
how he's
telltale
doing.
things. Yeah, he's looking at the screen for one. He's still interested in where they are, so
Of course.
he hasn't assumed a win yet. But also, he just lifted his boat up over the concrete section, so he's still thinking really clearly about what he wants to do. So he's not under huge stress here. The boat he overtook was 96, Watanabe from Japan. So he's not going to get to finish his race today. Rask round the turns and off he goes.
Here comes Petro.
Ron Foley is, takes another
Petro
drink.
and Foley. Foley is taking some new drinks and Petro not.
Doesn't take any refreshment.
The gap is It's a longer gap now.
With Japanese boat who's been lapped and who's just now.
This is very encouraging for Thorbjørn when he see this.
Both these guys in a little bit quicker than they have been, and Foley moving with a lot more intent than we've seen him for quite a while now. I think it's not going to be enough to bridge the gap.
Next three arriving.
When they realized that it's not possible to reach Thorbjørn, they will start a race in between each other instead, going for the silver, and then might speed decrease slightly. 48 seconds now.
The next group with Rosa, Majoros and Pinta. Santos has dropped off this group, so it's Pinta from Argentina.
Rosa and Majoros. Followed by Enriquez and Santos soon over the portage as well.
So these guys are going well still. Rosa taking the lead from Pinta and Majoros. Majoros looking to be struggling, and Rosa has moved through. He was behind this group a couple of laps ago, caught them up, and now he's the one doing the damage. As we look back down the portage, Santos, I would assume, is in this group unless another group's come through him. So it's going to be the two Portuguese.
Sexta-feira estão todos convidados a comparecer aqui para assistir ao concerto musical de Sérgio Mirra e do Rogério Braga, agendado para
Santos
21h30. Agora a vossa atenção, os
and
dois
Enriquez.
terminaram mais uma.
Oh no, Santos is so tired. Enriquez is away and clear. We've seen Santos gradually fall back through the field. Life's got harder and harder, and that's when the mistakes creep in. He's going to get caught as he gets back in his boat by Luke Shaw, who's just running over the portage now. So away goes Enriquez.
These guys are on the 8th and 9th position.
And this guy is in first position.
Yes, he is. About 50 seconds ahead, with just one long lap to go.
One long lap, you can't be caught in one long lap. And then it's only the short lap after. So with the gold virtually around his neck, Thorbjørn Rask makes his way up to the top turn.
Incredible, these lap times, 16 minutes, and then when the portage is set in, actually more rapid.
Yeah, his third lap was the one that was the decisive one, really. That was his fastest lap. And I think that was the one where people decided, you know what, the gap's too big now. And it's getting even bigger as we speak. He's just slowing down a little over the last couple of laps, but too little, too late from Foley. Enriquez there. He's won his battle within a battle with his Portuguese competitor.
And after Shaw on the 9th position, it's Gunaide, it's Masek, it's Heuser, it's Cueto, Uvari, Machirani on 15th, McLaren on 15th from New Zealand, Spanner from Australia on 16th, 17th is Azul, 18th is Camel, 19th McCartney, 20th Da Silva from Brazil, and then follow Ost from Belgium, 22nd is Guillaume from France, Lausberg from Germany, and so on.
So Luke Shaw closes down on Santos. Santos will be swallowed up by one more as he makes his way back through the field. He was strong at the start, second group. He was with that second group for a while. He spent too long on the second washout, which suggested he wasn't confident enough to drop round. And now he is just falling back, group by group, person by person.
Hugo Cueto de Espanha. Tobias Reuser também ali nesta
as they
altura
come
a
towards
ocupar
us.
a 13ª
Silhouettes,
posição.
always a little bit tough to identify.
Pela
Will
portagem,
Scammell
há
just through the
mais
portage.
4 embarcações.
Now-
Palavras de incentivo é o que se ouvem aqui a partir das margens.
Ireland, Great Britain,
Scammell, that is top 20 over the portage now. They are about 5 minutes behind
Irlanda,
the
Grã-Bretanha,
leading Thorbjørn Rask.
Austrália.
So there goes Scammell, 105.
Aqui é o William Scammell, britânico.
Sounds like 93. Bastien Julot from France may also have stopped. We've got a few retirements in this one. 95 from Australia. Seamus Spanner is with Scammell from Great Britain, and beside the Argentinian. Just falling off from those. And that is Solozano from Argentina. Just behind them from Ireland is Matt McCartney.
And
even more as Thorbjørn makes his way up, probably quite close to the top turn now. Still groups of paddlers coming in for their final long lap. So one more portage for Foley.
de animação noturna que está previsto e que conta com o patrocínio do município de Vila Verde. Parece-me aqui com algumas dificuldades o alemão Lasse Lausberg na
A
passagem
group
pela
of four
portagem.
paddling towards us. Well, arguments rage in the commentary box over who's going to interview the winner here. All got a bit, it came down to rock, paper, scissors in the end. And Stefan wins. So he's going to interview Thorbjørn Rask. Guess what? You know it's serious when the rock, paper, scissors come out.
A animação noturna está prevista para as noites de sexta e de sábado. No sábado,
So we're looking at Australia,
concerto musical de Isa Castro
which
e
is
Oliveira.
going to be the
E às
second of the
20h30
Australians,
mais
which is
uma
Luke Dooley.
sessão piromusical decorrer aqui sobre o Rio Calvo.
And a quick glance back up the course. Rask must be somewhere near that top turn. It could be him coming back on the right-hand side.
Programa que demonstra o empenho do município e do clube local, o Náutico de Prado, em proporcionar.
Yeah, they are past the turn now. It's Rask, and the gap is now 50 seconds. So he's still increasing it slightly.
Chase is off, isn't
The
it?
chase is off, yes.
They're going to fight out for second and third. Which, after what's happened here today, I think there's no rules, but Petro's earned his second place, I think, and I can see him coming out of this with third, to be fair.
Yeah.
At the death of this, Foley's quite fast on the sprint. But that's how marathon racing works. From Belgium, Bert Carcenti, 109 there. Carcenti from Belgium. Dooley from Australia.
Atleta belga Bert Carcenti, que há pouco vimos cochear.
There was one more in that group at the portage, but we're not going to see who they are.
Looking like serious trouble on the pontoon. Serious trouble.
E aqui temos o nosso Pimentinha, super animado. Seja bem-vindo, Pimentinha, a mascote portuguesa que foi apresentada.
So Rask just round the pontoon there. He's got two paddlers in front of him as a target. They're tail enders. He's lapping them.
What do you think he's like at swimming?
Esta pergunta traz
Rask
obviamente que o nosso
He's got something to do all the way to the portage. You'll catch them probably before the portage at the rate he's moving. And now just 2k plus a little bit to go to the finish. He spent about 17k all by himself. Takes some sort of mental strength to do that.
Uma experiência inesquecível para todos os portugueses que tiveram a oportunidade de assistir ao Mundial no carro.
So his compatriots were confident when he first moved away that he could make the move stick. It turns out they were right.
Arrecadando para Portugal medalhas inéditas, revalidou o título de campeão mundial nos 5.000 metros e conquistou aquela medalha que lhe estava a fugir na distância de 1.000 metros, a sua preferida, e portanto levou ali ao delírio os portugueses.
And he's keep on going the same speed, more or less. A little bit slower now, but not much.
So it was the first portage when Rask broke away. He got a lead of about 10 seconds on that portage and just never looked back.
Just went for it.
I think the others didn't take him seriously enough at that stage. They could have closed a 10-second gap. There were 3 of them.
Absolutely.
It's not that difficult, but they didn't do it. They assumed he would come back to them, and turns out they were very, very wrong. Santos from Portugal was in the group at the time. He wasn't going to... Oh, come on. That's what Rask needs right now, is a tail ender.
Helping him,
Giving him the big one. Maybe it is helping.
At least he's resting a bit.
Spoils his rhythm a little. So 121 there. Possibly helping out, possibly irritating. It's from Japan, Onojima. From Japan. He's had his little flurry.
Porque a partir do momento em que é ultrapassado pelo líder, o atleta que está em prova
And it's just
deve
a
abandonar
little
a
chat
competição.
from Rask.
E é isto
Not
que
sure whether they were
leva uma volta de vantagem.
friendly words or not.
Terá de encostar.
No.
Assim dito,
Just coming under the bridge.
da competição.
Another 20 meters. And Rask has the luxury of a last lap with a huge, huge lead.
Thorbjørn through the bridge.
What's significant, really, just had a message from one of Rask's teammates, is he turned down the opportunity to go to the Sprint Worlds, which he'd qualified for Denmark, because he wanted this gold medal. This meant more to him than going to the sprints this year. It's something he clearly desperately wanted, and it's paid off for him. There's no doubt. He's made a good job of it today. So Rask approaches the final portage.
E agora a música a animar ainda mais esta sessão de canoagem de nível mundial.
He's reached that magic speed paddling around that he's gone back to the 1980s as the music plays. It's a bit like Back to the Future. If you hit the right speed, you can return all the way to the 80s. We come across the portage to the final countdown. And Rask is making this look very easy now.
Into the final portage to the final countdown. The crowd is starting to cheer him up now. It's a wonderful race, wonderful day for him. Thorbjørn Rask from Silkeborg, Denmark, finalizing this race in the same great manner that he started it.
So this race was
So last portage, really
from the crowd.
a lap of honour for him now.
Last portage, just 1,000 metres to go.
He can afford a bit of a smile, I would think, coming across here.
Yeah, that's
He
the
knows
way.
it.
This is amazing. Wonderful day for him. Great race and a great sportsman.
His sister Catherine can rest easy at home now. She knows he's safe.
Two chasing boats of Hungary and Ireland just behind coming to the portage.
And this is a race ongoing for the bronze and silver medal. Into the portage now. Ronan Foley and Adam Petra. It's Ronan Foley that is running really fast over this final portage.
So Foley versus Petro. Foley looks to have the best of it, and I think if they get in that order, which they're going to do, it's going to be very hard for Petro to overtake Foley. Foley very strong. He's got to get in safely yet. Petro's going to get in with him, but Foley has the initiative.
But Petro is there. Petro was able to catch the wash, so he's definitely within the race for the silver medal still. All together around the bend there.
So Foley has played the race well for second. They will wonder, I think, these two, if they should have worked harder earlier.
Relembro que depois da última portagem eles fazem volta pequena.
But as you said, the only opportunity was directly after when Thorbjørn Rask went.
Once the gap got to 30 seconds, it was never going to close.
They could just hope that Thorbjørn was overestimating his strength, which he didn't. Not at all, having increased the gap all race through.
So there you have it, 700 meters to the finish. With a lead of a few hundred. And in fourth place, he's done really well, Pablo Rosa from Spain has broken away from Pinta of Argentina. Rosa from Spain, really strong on the first leg. Didn't make the cut when the group split, but has worked his way through the field to come fourth in the end. As Thorbjørn goes round the first of the final turn, boys. 6 boys in the turns. Turns are really nice here, actually, Stefan. They're really nicely laid out. Nice even curve. There's no sharp points on there. So really good for if you get groups coming round. So round goes Rask.
So round the boy
and 500 metre paddle home.
Road bridge coming down to the last 300, 400 metres.
As Enriquez runs past the front of us, the first of the Portuguese athletes. Rask makes his way back. Stefan's left the commentary box to go and get the interview. And I think it'll be an interesting one. I think Thorbjørn Rask is someone who knows his own mind. He knows what he wants to do. And those people are always very sure of themselves and their abilities. Luke Shaw runs through the portage, followed by Santos of Portugal, who's just about managed to stay with him. But it's all about Thorbjørn Rask. Couple of 100 metres to go.
So 200 metres to go for Thorbjørn.
The finish funnel starts there.
Menos de 200 metros separam o dinamarquês das boias que assinalam o fim
Behind him, Ronan
de
Foley
prova.
squashes
São
Petro
estas
over
boias com as bandeirolas
to the edge of the river.
encarnadas. E eu quero ouvir
So
este
it's
forte
Rask.
aplauso para este atleta.
Beautifully done.
Thorbjørn Rask from Denmark, world champion.
Exatamente.
Race comfortably won in the end.
Temos campeão do mundo. Chega-nos da Dinamarca, Thorbjørn Rask.
We'll have a very proud family back home.
Que grande prova para o dinamarquês.
And here comes Foley.
E agora,
You have to feel for Petro, who did so much of the work. He's looking over his shoulder to make sure third is secure.
And Ronan Foley comes
In
in.
comes Rosa, at top of your picture there for fourth place. But Foley ahead of Petro.
Taking the bronze.
exatamente.
Well done
prata
to Ronan
será
Foley for
entregue
Ireland.
ao irlandês
Silver medal for
Ronan
Ireland.
Foley. Posição 3,
Petro
bronze
in the bronze
para o
position.
atleta,
And just behind
húngaro.
them now, with a huge move over the last couple of laps, from Spain,
And into fourth
Pablo
place,
Rosa.
Pablo Rosa from Spain.
He could be regretting a couple of slow laps in the middle. Rosa looked like he had the quality to be up with the other guys, certainly on those last couple of laps. Very strong finish from him.
Agora da Argentina,
And just behind him,
Pinta.
from Argentina, Pinta crosses the line in fifth. Some good work from him today. And behind him, it looks to be Majoros from Hungary. And then it's a bit of a fight. A group of four behind Majoros. It looks like Scammell trying to hold off whoever's coming up his left-hand side, but he hasn't. It's going to be very. They're going outside. Oh no, sorry guys. They're coming in for their portage. That's my mistake. Basic commentator error there. So Majoros across the line.
Majoros over the line in sixth place.
Clear, it seems, from anyone at this stage.
Thorbjørn Rask,
Majoros in
congratulations,
sixth.
what a race.
Thank you, thank you.
So I learned your tactics was to make the move on the second portage, but you made it already on the first. Why?
My plan was to stay with the group so long I could, and I think I hope I couldn't at the last portage to go away, and yeah, I have not expected it was the first one.
So why did you make the move at the first one?
Oh, I think we was a big group in the two first rounds, and then I think I must run fast, so we can be a little group. So yeah.
But no one dared to follow.
Yeah, I don't know why, but
You just went. How was your thinking during the long alone distance?
I think they will catch up, because in the start the first 200 meters I go very fast so they get it was very hard to catch me, but I think they will catch me in the first corner on the top.
But you actually increased the gap every lap.
Yeah. I don't know why, but it was good. I have a good feeling in the boat. So
Second at the Europeans and the gold at the Worlds. Did you plan the season like that?
no. My plan was to came in top 5, so I'm really happy with the West Side.
But here you are as a world champ, K1 man junior. You need to say something on flytande dansk.
Yes, hi mor. Yeah, it was that.
Thanks a lot and congratulations. Thorbjørn Rask.
So Enriquez, Luke Shaw and Santos across the line while the interview is going on. Thanks to the comedy air horn. I didn't hear any of that interview from here, so I hope it was entertaining. I'm sure it was. Superb win for Denmark there. Such a long history of successful marathon paddling. Some of the all-time greats of this sport have been from Denmark. You could write a list, but it'd be a long list. It looks like Norway are going to be next across the line. Gunnar Eid, and then behind him looking at Uvari. So here comes Eid towards the finish.
Ronan Foley, congratulations to the silver medal.
Thanks very much, Stefan. Yeah, worked hard out there. It was a good race and happy enough with how it went.
This is the second silver medal for Ireland. The first one since Gary Moore had a silver back in 1996 in Vaxholm. What's your comment to that?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Gary was a great paddler, and I'm just happy to replicate his last medal position. So yeah, really happy.
And you still have many years to go.
Oh yeah, no breaks from now. Start working hard for the winter to under 23 and up to senior.
How was your thinking when Thorbjørn Rask just went at the first portage?
Yeah, I thought we'd catch him if we worked together, but I was just too tired. I was just working, and me and Petra working so hard. But yeah, well done to Rask. Very impressive win, and yeah, amazing.
Once again, congratulations, Ronan Foley.
Thank you.
So a few more finishes while Ronan Foley was being interviewed. Just over the line now, 1:16. Uvari from Slovakia. We have McLaren over the line. Masek over the line. Just had Scammell now, 1:04. Solazano, 98 there. McCartney, and off the back of that group from Australia, Spanner, Seamus Spanner.
Precisamente com equipamento azul, o atleta da Argentina que vai agora desembarcar.
So superb first day's racing. Not everyone got what they wanted today, but the spectators certainly did.
E aqui nas imagens, William Scammell, o britânico. Mais uma bela perspectiva sobre o local de referência para a realização
So everyone dissecting their race, having a chat on the way back to the pontoon and the boat sheds.
Two very happy guys.
So we couldn't hear that, Stefan, because there was a load of air horn action. So I couldn't hear your question, and our volume on our screen is very low anyway. So any enlightening conversation out there? But
yeah, I was Thorbjørn didn't expect to break free,
yeah.
And Ronan confirmed that they expected to catch him quite soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Thorbjørn was quite surprised they didn't come. So he just went the fastest he could and had a great day.
Fantastic stuff. So at least we're not too far off the mark here in commentary then.
Yeah.
Italian Nerj coming over the line, and 111 is Ost from Belgium.
Roland Foley as well. It was the first silver medal for Ireland since Gary Moore had a silver in Vaxholm '96.
Yep.
So quite many years, 22 years since they've
had a silver medal.
But that was senior, of course. And I think it's more to expect from the Irish team over this weekend.
I think there's, that was one of their strongest races. Jenny Egan's been going well. She got a medal in the 5K a couple of weeks ago at Sprint World Championships. Looking pretty strong in warming up and training here as well. Been out here since the Sprint Worlds training with their team.
Finish their race, and we'll have the medal presentation in about 10 minutes.
I think we need to change our cameraman, Stefan. I'm not sure we need that in our day. That's better. Across the line, 1-2-0. That's De Silva from Brazil.
Very happy to
finish.
I
like to see that as well,
Yes.
It's not all about that front group. There's little personal victories all down through this field.
Absolutely. Probably a newcomer. For his first international event, at least the first event overseas.
Lasse Lausberg from Germany, just behind him. Tough day, it looks like, for Lasse. A little bit of a head shake from him there. It's tough, Stefan. You've done your training. You have your expectations of yourself. Some of these guys might know they've just been paddling better than that in the weeks leading up to this. Others will be surprised by how well it went. And that's just how sport is, isn't it? There's no one who knows the secret of being right on the day every time you race.
That's the beauty of it.
109, Carcenti from Belgium. He's looking at the back of number 100, Dooley from Australia.
Número 100, o australiano Luke Dudley.
Carcenti comes in now. And slowly the day draws to a close. So Rask has probably become the highlight of the day in terms of performance for me. After that was Mackenzie in the junior girls race who performed above her ability, I think.
Yeah, and Rask only because the way he did this race, quite amazing, very courageous, and very skilled.
Very skilled, and even when things are going better than expected, it's still a massive change of mindset.
It is.
That you have to adjust to. Think, right, you know what? I'm on my own now. And if that's not what you were planning from the start, it's a huge mental leap to adjust your plan to do that. .101 from Finland, Hippalainen. A quick scroll down the messages on the side of the live feed, see if there's any questions we need to answer. Actually, we've got a message in from Dave Francis. Neil Fleming won gold for Ireland in the juniors. in 2001. Thanks for that, Dave. Put us right on that one.
Thanks a lot.
So I'm not sure if that was Stefan's fault for getting that wrong or whether Ronan told him.
No. It was my poor memory.
Okay, that's all right.
But I was pretty sure on it, but never be too sure. I know why. 2001, that was a World Championships I didn't attend.
Okay, and then I my mistake was that I said that Thorbjørn Rask had turned down going to the Worlds in the Danish team. He didn't turn down the Worlds, turned down the Europeans, but having not gone to the Europeans, you automatically lose your chance to go to the Worlds. So I could claim that I was right, but it seems I've been corrected online there. So,
but I had no excuse other than I didn't went to. I think the World's 2001 was in Canada. Couldn't go there. The only one I missed.
Okay. So support coming in for all the athletes on the live chat. I'm not sure I could become an alcoholic either, Stefan, because these bar stools that we've got in here are for 6 hours a day. I just don't think I could tough it out, even with a few beers. I don't think I can feel my legs anymore.
Falling off just from exhaustion.
Yeah, even Jim next door is renowned for being a bar stool person. Has had to admit he's going to bring his cushion tomorrow for the live commentary box. We're all hobbling around a little bit now. Quick scan through the crowd. And back to the officials coming in on the boats. They've been up at the top turn all day and bringing one of the casualties back by the look of it. And out by the bridge there you can see people wading out just up to their waist to the middle of the river. So our day draws to a close.
Within a couple of minutes, there will be a prize giving ceremony.
We'll go home tonight and get our homework done for tomorrow's events.
But first, we will, of course, cover the prize giving ceremony for the K1 Men Junior.
Waving their flags. It's a good crowd up in the shade of the trees up there. No, Chad. Chad. Yeah, that's Australian. Yeah.
No, we always bronze. I had always silver, so
He might come Gary, yeah, Rui was second. No, Gary was second. Rui was second. Who was third? Maybe Rui was third. Rui. Third again.
I know because he and Melo rented an apartment in the house of our neighbor.
Right.
In the night that day, they were both totally pissed.
So flashback to the start, and at that stage, everything to play for. Seems a long time ago we watched that.
Very relaxed technique there from Petro.
And that's how big the front group was, but not for long. One lap.
Only one lap.
One portage, 2 laps. One first
into the
portage.
into the first portage.
From her win earlier today with Sam Rees-Clark from Great Britain. So no Hungarian dominance in that race in the end, although they were top 2 at this stage in the flashback. This is going to be junior men's C1 flashback prize giving. Boys are us.
We are waiting the prize giving ceremony for K1M. And tomorrow it's another day of racing. 4 races coming up tomorrow. The first starts 9 o'clock local time We'll start broadcasting 8:45 for the K1 women, K2 women juniors. Same session is C1 men under 23, and 11:50 is the start of K2 men juniors, and today the last session of the day is K1 men under 23 starting 15:30. All local times, and broadcasting is always starting 50 minutes before the start.
And Thorbjørn Rask will be in action again in the K2 tomorrow as well. As will Petro, as will Foley. We've got a couple of other big K2s to throw in there as well.
Tough guys and tough girls, because the same is valid for the girls. Emma Russell, for instance, doing K2 as well. Jocke Plas. While Hungary has specific K2 crews. There are so many to choose among.
I'm just
Hungary,
looking down the list. Yeah. And yeah, we're in for some good racing again tomorrow, that's for sure. So as the crowd catch the last bit of afternoon sun or cool off by wading into the river. We'll cool off by having a bit of a drink in a minute, Stefan. It's very hot here in the commentary box.
Some cool sparkling water.
Absolutely. We've toughed it out so far today. And we've got 3 more days of excitement coming up.
It's a good system to have this prize giving ceremony.
Rowan and John, we're still waiting for you for the medal presentation. Ronan.
Try so hard, Jim. Oh no. You don't have to be Irish, Jim, you just have to be literate, mate.
Otherwise you will have your father.
Yeah.
I met him yesterday.
Yeah, he's in good form today. Doing all right. You'll have enjoyed today, I think.
gentlemen, the medal presentation, Junior Men K1. The bronze medal for Hungary. The silver medal for Ireland.
And the silver medal to Ronan Foley from Ireland.
And the gold medal and world champion from Denmark. Thorbjørn Rask.
And gold to Thorbjørn Rask from Denmark.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand for the national anthem of Denmark? Congratulations, gentlemen. This has a nice photograph, please.
And with this wonderful image, we conclude the broadcast from the first day of this World Championships in Portugal, Vila Verde. And we will be back tomorrow. Me and Ivan Lawler, thank you for your attention and staying with us during today's racing. Welcome back tomorrow.
Thank you very much, everybody. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock sharp on the Junior Women's K2. Don't be late.
Yes, it's the first day. I'm happy. It's the first day. Everything okay.
That's the best first day we've had.
Yeah, I think so.
No doubt.
Yeah.
You are in Portugal, so
Yeah, of course.
all day. It's trouble. The right word.
You have one of those as well. I have one of those. They're terrible.
Yes. Like this. Olha, eu vou em si. Força. Não percebes.
I didn't want to hurt you.
It's like of language. I don't understand anything.
I understood it, so I didn't want to hurt you. And we've got ourselves a swimmer, and that is so sad. That is unfortunately stuck 2 out. She's only going to get what's left for her. Really do better to duck in, trying to group here. Tin her boat out. That gap's got a bit turned already. Watch out the boat. She's still struggling. So for the kayakers, certainly